Hi Pisces, how are you? Welcome to your love reading for June 2017. Thank you so much for being here. Apologies for any background noise, construction, again, always. I am moving, leaving Bali, so as weird as this might say, I'm really hoping Europe is more quiet. I don't know. I feel like all over Bali there's either construction or not enough internet connection, or it's kind of a lose-lose no matter where I go. I'm probably going to be doing another video describing my experience here and how it ties into astrology and tarot as well, so that we can just to share. So anyway, that's enough about me. Let's go ahead and dive in about you. I've already been preparing the deck, okay? So oh, I don't know why I just did that. I've already prepared the deck, so let's just go with that one. And let's get started. Two of Cups reversed. And the Garden. So let's talk about what's getting in your way. Completion, all right? There seems to be open ends, loose ends, things that are like continuing on. So for some of you that have had a breakup or a significant wedge placed between you and your partner, it's not resolved, and you guys haven't really accepted, and that's hard to do, right? To just say, well, just accept it. I mean, that seems so futile, you know, and almost impossible at times. But some of you have had significant disappointment or significant issues with communication. Right? Like this is a card of you guys like totally not being on the same page at all. And what's getting in your way is it's open-ended and there's no resolution. It's just there. It is what it is. And you have good and you have bad. They coexist together. And I always show this because this is the world. Okay, make sure I'm not cutting it off. Okay, this is the world. And I see the world with this deck, the Tree of Life, the Women, and the Serpent. Serpent intertwining the women. You cannot have the good without the bad. With every ray of sunlight, there is a shadow cast, okay? So, but it needs to come to a point of acceptance and understanding of that, you know, and finding a way of working with it. If you want. Some of you may decide, this was a little bit too much. This is not what I want. Absolutely not. But yet it's still in continuing forward motion, right? Like I don't think the breakup has happened, or I don't think the issue that you guys have been fighting about has been like fully decided one way or the other. And the Shipwreck, right? So obviously some of you have really gone through a lot of dramatic stuff. This is no joke, the Shipwreck. I mean, first of all, it's like the Tower, okay? So let's think of it, but I'm going to use the shipwreck analogy because if you think about it, you know, could you imagine being on the ocean and being hit by a storm or hitting a rock and having to now survive? I think some of you are like in survival mode a little bit. You're trying to keep the relationship alive. You're trying to keep everything peaceful in spite of the fact that issues are not resolved. You're really trying to remain positive and upbeat and trying to see the silver lining in what's going on. Now, for some of you, there is silver lining, right? I don't think that you're in love with like a bad person. I don't think that, you know, for some of you who are single, the dating situation might not really be the best for you because of lingering effects. Like I was saying, there's not, it hasn't closed, right? You haven't like clicked the lock, or like, you know, you haven't like fully clicked it, fully turned it yet. And the Two of Coins. See, you guys have probably been really keeping a lot of balls in the air. Likely you're trying really, really hard to keep a lot of people happy. Yourself happy, your significant other happy, your family happy, your parents, your co-workers, your boss, your community leaders, whatever. Like you're doing it all, okay? In spite of this shipwreck. I mean, I applaud you for doing this. I applaud you for being everything to everyone, or for trying to be everything to everyone, but this cannot last. This is exhausting. The juggler cannot juggle forever. Okay, at some point you're gonna have to put that mask down. You're gonna have to pull those hats off. You're gonna have to be real, you know? I see this as being a real, you know, the traditional meaning is like balance and keeping everything going and whatever, but I always see it as a lack of authenticity. I don't know why I see that. It's just like we're pretending by doing all this stuff, like we're all trying to be super moms or super women, super dads, super men. You know, we're all trying to be the super version of ourselves. And that can be toxic when you're dealing with the shipwreck. It can lead to denial if you're not careful. So Pisces, if you have gone through something really important, it's time to really start simplifying your life. Okay? It's time to simplify, to start saying no to people. Start saying, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to volunteer. No, I don't want to participate in this. Like, I just want to be at home. I need to do my core duties. I need to do, like, honestly, it's like do the minimum right now because you're in recovery mode. You have to be. You have the shipwreck. You have to be in recovery mode right now. It's like you're still absorbing the shock of what happened. It doesn't have to be so sudden. Like, it could have been a really like long ongoing thing, you know? And even the shock, like the fallout, like there's still little aftershocks going on. So here's the earthquake and there's still little aftershocks after that earthquake. So be careful of those. Artisan of Wands. So this is someone, it's not you, it's fire. You're water, they're fire. That can either be like a really beautiful match or it could be like a really terrible crash and burn kind of match, okay? I often see fire and water, it's like earth and air. It's like beautifully harmonious or like I say, crash and burn. So you have to be really careful. This is someone that is, it's like the Knight of Wands, okay? They're fun, they're super outgoing. Now, this particular deck, I do read the artisans or the knights in a very different way, but I'll give you the more traditional meanings for you first. So like I say, charismatic, fun, outgoing, kind of like party people that enjoy the pleasures of life. A little on the hedonistic side, but they don't have to, it doesn't have to be like bad hedonism, you know, it's just that they enjoy having good things in their life. Now with this particular card, this is the Architect. He's been making quite the appearance lately and in all the signs. So there's an element of calculation. The Architects, right? They're creative. They see the big vision, but not only are they able to see the big vision, but they are also able to sit down and get out their little, I'm gonna go old school, not computers, but like protractors and pencils and their little like angle things and straight edges, and they're, you know, they draw and they measure and they figure things out and they plan accordingly and they use strategic thinking to decide how this is gonna go. There's a lot of planning mode right now, okay? So this can apply to you. It can also apply to your significant other, which means if you guys are in planning mode, okay, it means that not a lot of resolution is happening because you're not discussing it. You're not figuring it out. You may be kind of on your own path a little bit. You know, we've got the twos, and twos are great. They are about balance, they are about intuition, they are about love, but twos is 2 1s. 1 1 1 1. And right now you are operating as one. They are operating as one. Two people coexisting, or not coexisting if you've broken up, but two people living their own independent lives, but having to coexist peacefully, hopefully peacefully. Likely has not been peaceful for you. And the Hero of Wands. So this, I feel, would be the same fire energy. All right, now if you're not dealing with a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, this is the card of Leo, this is the card of Sagittarius. So if you're not dealing with a fire sign, it's likely someone that has, I don't know why I see this. It's not really the case. I'm gonna be super stereotypical and judgmental here for just a second. I often see fire signs as being more careless and a little bit more reckless. Not necessarily with the people around them, but with their own lives. Now, again, that's not everyone, and like, I'm gonna get some Leo that's like, we're not like that at all, but whatever. You guys know what I mean. That's what I see when I see these types of energies. This is careful though, but still just the fire quality, okay? So if you're dealing with a Virgo, or if you're dealing with a Scorpio or something, they're living their life, their own life, in kind of a reckless way. You actually might also be living your life in a little bit of a reckless way, for the sake of safety, right? A little bit reactionary to what happened. It seems to me like you're desperately wanting to get away from this and desperately wanting to begin rebuilding your life. But like I said, you've got those loose ends that haven't been tied up. So you are planning, figuring it out, trying to understand where you're going, you as a person, as a single one individual person. Doesn't mean you're not still thinking about your significant other, doesn't mean you stopped loving them, okay? Doesn't mean that you're completely devoid of emotion. I mean, come on, you're Pisces, of course you feel love, of course you're feeling deeply, and it's likely that you don't want these issues. Did I put that on upside down? I think that was right side up. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, let's just keep going. I don't remember what I was saying. Devotee of Swords, like the Page of Swords, but again, I read this deck differently. So this is like spying sometimes, okay? Careful watching. But I feel like there's... So this is a Roman warrior, okay? Training for battle. That's what this image is. Training. It's an educational card, right? Or it's an educational process. It's a skill development process. And in the reversal, for me, it's like, put your weapons down. Put your weapons down. Surrender. You know, stop. And I think that's what you want, right? This is how you see the situation. It's time for you to stop fighting so hard. Time for you to stop, like, trying to accommodate. This is someone that, you know, you don't necessarily, you can't accommodate them. I mean, you can, but you're going to get trampled in the process. So, you know, if you are watching this reading because you're in love with a Pisces, because you love Pisces, it's really important for you to be considerate of maybe what they're going through, and to be considerate that you guys process emotions differently, where they feel so deeply and they appreciate the magic and the romance of life. If you don't, you know, if you are like, I just live in my life, I'm just doing my thing, but to understand that you're two different people. And if you want to maintain this relationship with your Pisces, then you're gonna need to meet them in the middle. It's not all about you, okay? And I'm not saying it is all about you, or that you really think it is, but it seems to me like you might be treating it that way, and that's how they are perceiving it, okay? There are no victims here, all right? It takes two to tango, but at the same time, to be more open-minded, because again, I usually see air signs and earth signs as being a little bit more on the accepting side. They can still be very judgmental, but more on the accepting side, whereas like a fire energy would be like, ugh, that's you, that's your problem, you can just go deal with it on your own, right? I got my own agenda, I got my own stuff to do. At least with this particular reading. It's not always like that, but with this particular reading, I'm kind of seeing that. So just be cognizant and be considerate of your Pisces, okay? They do love you. And they do want to close it off, right? They do want the ending. They want that point of completion. They want to move on. They want to deal with it and just like clean slate it, whatever that's going to mean, okay? In Pisces, your environment is that of the Eight of Wands, which is communication, it is change. I think there is rapid change, or you have recently undergone rapid change, which makes sense with the shipwreck or the tower. And you do seem to want to manifest good things into your life, which is great. It's a beautiful mindset to have because it's the first step to actually achieving that change. The devotee of wands. See, there is a lack of communication, another fire sign, another fire quality, okay? Again, reading it differently, I see it as a lack of communication. So in the hopes and fears, one, a fear that you're not going to resolve the issue, a fear of what's going to happen if you say what you're really thinking or say what you're really feeling. But also a hope that you can keep things secret, or a hope that you can really keep it together. Pisces, I think that you are really trying to maintain your composure, right? You're trying to remain graceful. You're trying to remain like I don't want to seem like a crazy person because I'm not crazy. I just feel stuff, you know what I mean? And you're not crazy. So, but you might be really trying to put on that facade of, I'm only going to let you in when I decide to let you in, or I'm only going to expose this emotion when I decide it's safe to do so, right? So again, if you're in love with a Pisces and you're watching this, they do need an emotional safety net, and you have to be the one to provide that. You know, they're not going to be open with you. They're not going to talk freely with you unless they know that you're going to be there to catch them. And I think right now they're thinking that you're not. So they're keeping their mouths shut and they're just trying to move on. They're just trying to like attain closure without talking about it, like get to that point of closure and just move on without becoming emotionally vulnerable. And the outcome is the High Priestess. See, another two, and then the Two of Cups here. And the twos, again, are about balance. They are about intuition. Now, you may begin, Pisces, to feel an intense intuition, like your intuition speaking to you in an intense fashion, really clear, really obvious, right? Like, wow, that's really what my heart is telling me. That's really what my gut wants me to do. Now, I don't know what that means. I'm not seeing separation. I'm not seeing moving on, okay? Again, that's maybe likely the issue. But I'm also not really seeing staying in the same place either. Not a limbo, but it's just the transition point. Like this is the pivot point, I guess. I love the High Priestess in this deck because, you know, the reds in this deck, I don't know why, they just like jump out at me because they are so deep and so vibrant. And red of love, passion, anger, heat, like blood pumping through your veins, you know, and your intuition speaks in that way. It's louder than we think. You know, it can be very quiet sometimes, but only if we suppress it. But usually it's very loud, and we know that. It's like one of those things where you're looking back 2 years ago and you're like, ugh, I should have known way back then. How come I didn't know? How come I didn't acknowledge? But then you're like, I did know, and I did acknowledge. I just ignored it. Like I had all the signs right in front of me, and I just continued down that path anyway, right? So it's an intuitive lesson for you. Another card of keeping secrets. So Pisces, you may be really, really quiet now. Again, because you don't have that emotional safety net. You don't have anyone there to catch you. So you are closing the access point. For now. I mean, not forever. Nothing is forever, right? Actually, this one really was wanting to come out. 5 of Coins. A card of isolation. You know, you are feeling very, very alone. Even if you're in a relationship, you're feeling very alone. Like I said, 2 individual entities that just have to coexist, okay? I don't see anyone particularly fighting right now with these cards. It's just like everyone, like I said, kind of put down their weapons and they're just kind of just trying to make it through, just trying to deal with it, just trying to go. No one's fighting. No one's fighting for one thing or the next. I think you're trying to reach that point of authenticity, like I said. You're trying to simplify your life. You're trying to make it easier on yourself, right? Life got too hard. It's way too hard to have all that business. So it's an active and ongoing process. 7 of Wands. Like, perfect example. So many things working against you, like hitting that brick wall time and time again, and just like, ugh. And some of you in the relationship, your partner, it feels like you're constantly working against your partner. The person that you're supposed to be running parallel with seems to be hitting you on a T, right? Like parallel, like boink, instead of like this, you're going like this, and it's just blind, you know, sideswiping you, making it so difficult. And again, if you're watching this because you're in love with the Pisces, it's very likely that either you don't know that this is how they're seeing it, or you just really didn't know the actions of the consequences of your actions. I'm not blaming you. It's just a difference in how you live your life. It's a difference in how you process emotion. There is a significant difference between the 2 of you, and it's both of your jobs to work together to understand each other and to accept those differences. And if you truly love them and you truly want a relationship with them, you have to accept the good with the bad. Because that's what a human being is. It's a whole bunch of good, but we have a lot of shadows too. Every person does. We all have our private worlds. We all have our demons that we deal with. And you have to, it's I think, unconditional love. You know, if you want this relationship, if you don't want this relationship, obviously no one's fighting for it, right? Everyone's kind of just like, let's just be quiet for a while, right? But there's gonna come a moment where you can't just stay there forever. Something's going to have to change. And Pisces, if you don't want this relationship, then you don't have to have it, you know? 10 of Wands. See, here was the fighting. In the past, you were fighting for something bigger, a family, togetherness, getting along. In the past, you were willing to do the work. And now you are really re-evaluating that effort and saying, wow, what is that? Why did I do that? And also thinking just about your own happiness, right? Like, you're in full-on protection mode right now, full-on armor in the castle with a moat and a big stone gate, or a big stone like wall with guards out front. Like, it's going to take an army to break your walls down right now. Not because you're not feeling anything, because maybe you're feeling a little bit too much, and you're really even evaluating like the depths of those emotions and what that intensity really says about you. A lot of self-reflection going on for you, Pisces. This is an important message for a lot of signs, the Four of Coins, okay? Now, this energy is past. It was like a week and a half ago, or a week ago, or whenever it was. But we did have that new moon in Gemini, and it was all about, and new moons are about making wishes and making things come true and setting intentions and all of that. But this particular new moon was all about the reflection of our desires, how they reflect back on you, right? So as an example, this is the typical example I'm using. If you are in love with an emotionally unavailable person, what does that say about your own self-love and your own sense of self-worth, right? Because it is a little bit, I mean, if you love someone that will never love you back, that's like emotional masochism. Like is that masochism or sadism? One of the two, where you're essentially tying yourself up, just asking to be tortured, right? On an emotional level, like you're seeking out that pain. So what does that say about you? And how you value yourself and how you respect yourself. That's just an example, right? But that's what this reflection is all about. And seeing that in the mirror clear as day and saying, like, whoa, that's not what I expected. I think a lot of you Pisces are going to be surprised at what you see, surprised at how you actually really do view yourself. And that's the authenticity that I'm talking about. You were hiding that under all those hats and all those tasks and all those duties and all those things that you were doing. And now you've reached this, okay, this is the reality of it. Five of Cups, see, Five of Cups is about sorrow and sadness and regret and also disappointment. I think a lot of you were very disappointed in this relationship. So please, Pisces, don't see this as a negative reading. I really, really hope you don't see it as negative. It's been a tough month for every sign, okay? Or it is, I mean, I'm reading this in the beginning of June, and this is based on the energies today, okay? Based on how things are at this moment. So it's a reflection for you. It's a mirror. So you don't have to wallow forever. You don't have to feel sad forever. Like I was saying, it's about silver lining. Now, some of you are in love with someone. You do love them and you do care about them, and you will continue to keep that relationship alive. Okay? Which means you have to start seeing it optimistically, seeing the lessons for the truth, for what they really are, seeing the experiences for how they benefited you and not how they hurt you. It's all about how you look at it. It's all about perception and expressions of gratitude as well. Okay? Life gets hard just as much as it gets easy, right? You think about the happy moments and the bad moments, and they just come and go. They don't come with your permission. Like, you don't have to say, okay, yes, bad times. Yes, you're allowed to come in now. No, they just come, just like the good times just come. So it's just all cyclical. Ace of Swords, the reality, the reflection back, okay? Here you have the Ace of Swords underneath, so it's almost as though the Ace of Swords is that reflection happening, right? So, no joke, it's intense. The Ace of Swords is intense. It's good, but it's hard. And the Devil, or in this case, the Siren. Commitment and obligation. It's a card of Saturn, okay? Saturn ruled Capricorn. And Saturn slows everything down, all right? And what's happening now is you're building up your karma credits. How good of a person are you really? That's going to come back to you, okay? It really, really is. And right now, Saturn is in retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. In August, it will be going back direct again, and all this big slow down energy is going to start moving more freely. Whew, thank goodness, right? But it is a karmic Saturn retrograde, meaning, like I said, what goes around comes around. That's what's happening here. If you've been a good person, those good things are going to come back to you. And I know you have been. I know that, and being true to yourself and being real with yourself, that's being a good person too. It doesn't necessarily have to be about your interactions or maintaining or not maintaining a relationship with someone. It's about the love that you have for yourself and the unconditional love that you have for people as a whole, for humanity, and the kindness and goodness of your heart. Okay? So yes, things are slow right now. Yes, things are tempting. Some of you may be tempted to continue to fight. Some of you may be tempted to like give people second chances, even though your intuition is like, no, don't give them a second chance. Like if you have broken up with someone, I think a second chance would take you a huge step backwards. If you're in love with a Pisces and you're watching this and you're the one that hopes they take a second chance with you, it's not good for you either. Okay? If you're happy and you're in a relationship and things are good, or things are, you know, you want to keep it going, then that commitment is there, and your Pisces is committed to you, and they will keep that obligation. Like that's they will keep it. That's what they will do. And the Hermit coming out as a hope and a fear. You know, just fear of direction, fear of not knowing where you're going. You don't have to know. You just have to get through this. The universe will get you on track. It will. And the Emperor. See, another fire. This is this card of Aries now. Strength and stubbornness, but for you, Pisces, it's control. Okay? Because you lost control here at the Shipwreck Tower. Things were out of your control, but now you're at a place where you can gain it back. And look, we have the star popping out. And don't you love this? Could this be any more beautiful? The stars as a crown, crowning you. Celestial entities guiding you, your angels all around you. You are safe. I am getting chills right now with this reading. Like, you guys have so much magic in your life right now. Unexplainable, like even supernatural. Okay? Not like with aliens and UFOs, but you know what I mean. Like, not human. The spirits, the angels, God, the universe. It's palpable. You have to trust it. You have to have faith. You are absolutely 100% on the right track and safe, without a doubt. Okay, so please feel safe. And the Eight of Swords. See, you got out of a situation. You broke free of a situation that you felt trapped in, trapped, suffocated, unable to leave, unable to get out. Some of you, again, you have lingering aspects of that. It's not entirely over, but it's sifting through. It's getting resolved. And it might still be a few months. I think Saturn really has done a number on a lot of us. Saturn has been super, super hard. And once it starts moving in the proper direction, I think we're going to be like, phew, thank God. Okay, like we're feeling better, we're feeling more confident, we're feeling more like in control of our lives, you know. The slowdowns are necessary, you guys. The slowdowns are a part of life. It is the universe's way of ensuring that we're not like getting ahead of ourselves. And the Lovers, yeah, the Siren and the Lovers, they almost, for me, they very, very, very often come out together. And when they do, it's toxic. It's really, really hard. And the love that you have is unexplainable and unfounded a lot of times. It's just like, I love you, but I have no reason why. Or I want this to work and I have no reason why, okay? That's in the past though. right? Here's the reflection of like, well, maybe that really wasn't that healthy for me. You know, this is about choice. And again, speaking to logic and intellect and innovation. All right. This is the card of Gemini, and it's intellectual activity. And it's, there must have been a lot of intellectual stimulation that happened and that occurred. It really like tingled the mind for you. And it, you know, I see this as systems and computers and, you know, that type of like technological processes. And it's even to me like the neurons sparking in your brain and chemicals being released in your brain. And again, unexplainable. Like, why does the pain feel so good? Like I was saying, the masochism and the 10 of Cups. All you want is to be happy. All you wanted was a family. All you wanted was love and unconditional love. And all you wanted was to be understood, right? You haven't lost your optimism, Pisces. Like, oh, did I do this wrong? I totally did this wrong. Well, it was on purpose. Or it was an accident, but purposeful from the universe. Wrong order, but that's all you wanted, okay? And the 3 of Cups. It's a lightened spirit. You know, you've been through so much serious stuff. It's time for you to start enjoying your life again. Go out, be social, be with your girlfriends, be with your guys, you know, go out and do the things that don't require so much effortlessness, okay? I think that you're gonna have, you know, a reason to celebrate in the upcoming months. You're going to feel better about life. You're going to feel more joyful about life again. Like, I'm seriously getting the chills for you, Pisces, because I have a few Pisces. Like, my best friend is a Pisces rising, and she has been thrown through the ringer. And I have another girlfriend that has been through she's probably also watching this and being like, hey, that's me. You know, a terrible relationship, which I intimately understand the inner workings of that relationship. And it breaks my heart that such amazing people can be treated so poorly and be treated so carelessly. You know, and if you are, again, watching this because you love a Pisces, they need an emotional safety net right now. And if you have not been providing that, now is the best time to just listen and support them and to not judge them and to not push them to do or be anything, and just let them be exactly who they are and let them feel exactly what they need to feel. Because they need to feel it, and they need to feel like it's okay. Like, if they're angry, let them be angry. If they're sad, let them be sad. But just be there. That's what they need more than anything in the world right now. Stability, 4 of Wands, Pisces. I know, that's what you need. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly what I just said. Threads of fate. Again, the cycle's not, the lock hasn't officially clicked through yet. You haven't, but again, karma, this is the card of karma. It's not primed yet. Wait till August. Things are going to start, I think, pushing through a little bit more. Hopefully, you're going to start feeling more of a backwind from the universe. 5 of Wands. Like, to get those demons out of your life, the pettiness, the arguments, the games, the mental manipulation, the mental control, like the power struggles, everything, like just getting them out of your life. Yes, so hopeful. In the 10 of Swords. I'm actually happy I pulled out the 10 of Swords because it, you know, it lends itself to what you've been going through, but you have the Ace. All right? This signifies an end. You officially have the beginning and the end of the mental torture that you've been going through. Okay? The beginning and the end. It's magical, and you are surrounded by magic right now. Embrace it, celebrate it, be happy for it. Okay? And It's almost over. Okay, it is. You're getting there. It's not over yet. You're still kind of in the throes of all the crap, but you're getting there. So just maintain that optimism. Like, this was an accident. I accidentally put this here instead of in the future position, because that's where your thoughts are. And that's, I think, what you were supposed to know, is that you haven't lost hope in spite of the fact that maybe you think you have. You haven't. It's here, and you do deserve it. And karma will provide that for you. The Wheel of Fortune, Lady Fortune, is looking out for you 100%. Okay? So that's it. Pisces, good luck. Super, super powerful reading. I'm like sitting here, my body is all tingly. I'm excited, but also like feeling a lot of the intensity. So I feel you literally, all right? I will talk to you guys in a couple weeks with your mid-months. Thanks. Bye.